Hey guys, what's up? Man, I was planning on going to do something. I'm at my night. I'm not in decent clothing, but to even go do it, but I just threw something on. Thought I'd come out here, maybe mess around and do something in the shed. Let's try this again. It should work. Anyways, I was gonna try to go and. This was an hour ago. I was thinking after school. I was thinking, oh hey, I'm gonna be able to get home and we're gonna go do this where the rest of the rain comes back, because it kind of dried up. The wind, we had heavy winds, and it's like, well, I'll be able to go do that. Forget that idea I was gonna go try to go do another property. I was like, man, hope I get to go do another one, but no, I won't get to do that today. I'm not gonna work on any equipment. Everything is pretty set up, and I don't really have anything to really work on. But anyways, guys, I had an idea of what I wanted to talk about last night. I kind of forgot. I had an idea that, I don't know, maybe I'll go back over the same things, but, anyways, guys, I think, if I remember right, I know this is true. I was talking about a customer it's just dirt on my screen. That was something on my chin. There was a customer, and they had a drip system, and I made some videos of it where I went through and basically kind of managed it and did all that for them, and it wasn't the best thing. Drip systems, in my opinion, in Texas are pointless because of the sun, and it doesn't do anything. The plants were dying, and it's just like, well, I gotta water them, and the ash trees were dying. And so what I did was I brought a soaker hose up there to try and, save the ash trees, and actually started to work. Well, they were certainly doing good on the last time I was ever there. This property, guys, the customer, he had broken his hip. Everybody in the neighborhood calls them weird, and I agree. They're kind of strange, but whatever. You gotta help them out. And they send a thing out on the neighborhood deal, and it's like, on Nextdoor, a lot of people know what that is. And he said, we need our yard mowed because, my husband has broke his hip, and I honestly don't know how you break your hip, but he did. It was just a really not a very nice backyard. Lots of things to weed eat. It was very cluttered. That was, again, not one of my favorite properties that I got paid $40 at, and it took me sometimes an hour and a half. It wasn't my favorite property to do. It was the one I always started out the day with. I would always start there at 7:15 in the morning, and I'd leave there about 9:15. I'd be able to get on with my day and work my way down, towards my house, because that's my farthest property, is way up the street there. About half a mile up from me. Our neighborhood's very big, but, anyways, I load my things up, drive up there, do everything, get it done, get paid, and it's just like, huh. But, guys, what's weird is, and when I made a mistake when I was taking care of the ash trees, they have a one water faucet. I repeat, one water faucet where you turn on, usually like you have your hose. Well, it has a pipe coming down with 4 different, like, filters and kind of like a pond, like, kind of stuff like that. Little water reservoirs. Well, this left one on the far right, if I remember right, was the one for the water hose, and I was turning that off and on the soaker hose, and I was moving that around to, save the ash trees and give them water, because there was an ash tree disease, but it wasn't that. It was most definitely, it was that. It was the drought. Because this past summer, guys, if you guys remember from my videos, I had little to no content. I know now I don't have very much. It's mostly just me talking. But, it was just dry as all. It was just very, very dry. And Texas gets dry, everyone knows that, but this was definitely next to one of the driest summers we've had, but it's pretty dry, and I was really wishing that I didn't say things I said, like, man, I really wish I was getting really burned out last semester. That's what I was talking about. And how I dealt with burnout, like I've heard from many guys, is it's definitely something you gotta watch out for, but you can't just, like some guys have said, is you can't let it go. You gotta keep going, because otherwise every single thing that you've done will fail. Even though the check engine lights are coming on, you know, you should just watch out for those warning signs and take care of that, you know. So anyways, guys, last season my workload, it was a lot for me, and this is how you get burned out. Do you see the equipment I have? It's good equipment. I have to push mow most of the yards just because I can't get the rider on them. And so this HR 216 and the HR 194, we do a lot of work. They do pretty much all my yards in a day in the summer, and I only have I have about two or three that I do completely with the rider, and otherwise it's really just like, just do it with the push mower, it'll be done, it'll look better. But the rider does a good job. But still, guys, I have to push mow all of my yards, and I'm really going to be looking forward to my next upgrade will be a rider. It'll be the same thing when I have to, because we're going to be replacing this here very, very shortly. We'll be making that decision here very soon. And but otherwise, after that, maybe in a year or two after that, I'm going to look into purchasing a stander or something where I can just, like a 36-inch, 28 or a 36-inch mower that I want to do, that I would like to get. Be a great thing to get. Because I have to do quite a bit of push mowing. I enjoy push mowing at times. I have my favorite yards that I usually do. I do, and they're my favorite ones. And I mean, guys, another reason was why I was getting burned out. Before I had the HR 216, I had the Toro and the Honda HR 194. Well, let's just say that Toro was doing most of the work, but I'm getting kind of off topic here, but talking about different things here. The Toro I did a lot of work with. It was a good mower until year 4 or 5, where I had to rebuild the car. I cleaned and rebuilt the carburetor. Well, I'd never put new parts in. I always cleaned it and all that. Every time you had to put carburetor cleaner in it just to get it to start. So that was really annoying. And it started just getting more and more problems. And I think the head gasket blew for some reason, but I did not have too much oil in it. So always took care of it. The air filtration system on that mower sucked, and that's why the carburetor had to be rebuilt. After every day, I would have to go through and work on that for an hour. I eventually started stripping those bolts out, not because I was using the wrong size of of a socket wrench deal. It's just because I had to take it out so many times, take it apart, take it off so many times. And yeah, that mower did good. It did okay, and I've only done about 4 different yards with that, but it didn't really do very much. I used it quite a bit. It was used hard, but it was taken care of, if that makes sense, at the same time. So anyways, that used to be the main mower back in the day. And then we had the Honda HRB 216 or something. It was a 216 something. I always had the Honda 216 something. And the recoil on that broke, and it had something else wrong with it, but it could be easily fixed. But what I did when I was little, I kind of took it apart and kind of didn't know what I was doing, but, you know, so, anyways, guys, back on the subject of burnout, guys, you definitely have to watch out for the signs of it, you know, maybe try to take a break for a little while, you know, and another thing they kind of said was that you should, like, make a plan. I get it. You're seeing it. Make a plan of, like, you know, set a limit of how many yards you want to do a day. Or, you know, set whatever you're doing in business. Here, guys. I'm going to make another video so you guys don't have to watch all this. Just so it's separate and it's there. Anyways, well, this next one.